Good evening, councillors, staff, ladies and gentlemen in the gallery. Please be seated. Tonight's blessing will be delivered by Councillor Abetz.
Thanks. I invite you to bow our heads. Heavenly Father, as we commence our council meeting this evening, we ask that you would graciously grant us wisdom and insight and commitment to seeking to do what is right and good for our city. And we pray, Father, that our city would be increasingly characterised by citizens living in harmony with one another, respecting each other as people, respecting each other's property and our communal property, and respecting others' roles in the community. May our city be increasingly known as a city where people live by the golden rule, doing to one another as they would have others do unto them. We ask it in Jesus' name. Amen.
Thank you, Councillor Abetz. The City of Gosnells respectfully acknowledges the Whadjuk Noongar people, the traditional custodians of the land on which we meet today. We pay our respect to them and their culture, and to elders both past, present and emerging. I'll just read the disclaimer. Members of the public are cautioned against taking any action on council decisions on items in which they may have an interest until such time as they have seen a copy of the minutes of the meeting or have been advised in writing by city staff. I declare the meeting open at 7:02. Biscuits and tea for those in the gallery. Please help yourself to the biscuits and tea off to the side. Don't leave it to go wanting. Record of attendance. We have a full attendance tonight except for Councillor Griffiths and Madam Mayor. Madam Mayor is... Sorry, Councillor Good. Just around the corner, Councillor Good, the biscuits and tea. Hidden from the councillors. It's public only. Thank you, Councillor Good. So record of attendance, we've got a full council except for Madam Mayor and Councillor Griffiths here tonight. Disclosures of interest, councillors, starting from the right-hand side. No disclosures of interest? Nope, thank you very much. Announcements from myself. Very exciting front page of the paper today, everybody. We can see Eagles bury heads in sand over losses. The triple flag coach quits the Tigers. Not quite. It's the Gosnells a go-go. So I'm sure everyone saw that wonderful article talking about our fine city and Gosnells as a suburb. The first sentence, Gosnells is a property place to be in 2024, with the area tipped to experience steep price rises next year. Maddington cops a mention as well in the Fast 50 list. And one of our local residents explained that it's quieter than the suburbs closer to Perth. The article goes on to say we've got a performing arts centre, we have libraries, a leisure centre, town centre gets a mention as well, the parks. We all knew it was a go-go. It's nice to have it on the front page of the paper as well. So well done to the staff and congratulations, Council, on that nice reflection of our city as it grows, and particularly the suburb of Gosnells and Maddington. No more announcements from me. Reports of delegates, starting to my left-hand side. Councillor Jane? Nope. Councillor Good.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor Hort and fellow councillors. Before I start my report, which journalist did you give that story to put on the front page? Because I'm impressed. Well done. Beaut. Councillors, we had some JDAP reports. That's the Joint Development Assessment Panel for those in the audience. On the 12th of May, Councillor Abetz and I sat our JDAP for the Logistics Boulevard in Kenwick, part of the Roe Highway Logistics Park. That was a $22 million facility, councillors, with a warehouse totalling 21,470 square metres. That will employ 32 staff. And it's also worthwhile noting that because it's in the Roe Highway Logistics Park of the Mooksy, also the vegetation, flora and fauna had very strong protective measures you'd be very pleased about. On the Monday, on the 15th of May, Councillor Williamson and I did another joint development assessment panel on the Southern River.
Thank you, Mr. Ashwin. Next questions I have up here are from Sandy Barriolo. I have 5 questions here, Sandy, is that right?
Yes, thank you.
Because we don't have any other questions, you can ask all 5.
Thank you. First question, can you please confirm that the Maddington-Kenwick Strategic Employment Area was for the good quality commercial properties such as what is featured on Kelvin Road and Kenwick Road, in addition to Logistics Boulevard?
Director of Planning.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. Yes, it is.
Is it true that the south side of Victoria Road in Precinct 1 is all heavy haulage commercial vehicle parking? This certainly does not offer opportunities for employment, but purely for the storage and parking of commercial vehicles and the like.
Director of Planning.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. There are a lot of those uses there at the moment. They are interim uses, intended to be interim uses, and many of them with time-limited approvals to achieve that end. Ultimately, the goal is to have higher quality permanent land uses in there, such as you see at each end of the industrial area.
Thank you.
Question 3.
Is it true Council's recent records indicate that there are currently 330 movements per day of commercial vehicles along Victoria Road, which then goes along out to Bickley Road?
That's one for the Director of Infrastructure. Sorry to put you on the spot.
Through you, Mr. Mayor, Mr. Deputy Mayor, I'm going to put it there.
Respond to all
The number is actually close to that. I would need to take on notice the exact number, but
It was in the presentation.
Yeah. So in terms of traffic in and traffic out, that would be the number.
Thank you, Director of Infrastructure. Question 4.
Is it true that the new application on tonight's agenda is going to add a further 158 movements of vehicles per day, thus making it 488 commercial vehicle movements per day?
Director of Planning.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. The application on tonight's agenda includes 83 parking bays, so that worst case scenario would be that all of the vehicles effectively would come and go on one day, up to about 150 or 160 vehicles per day. That's unlikely to happen, but it could happen. So there could be those additional movements on that road. In terms of total vehicle movements on the road is constructed to facilitate up to, as I understand it, about 3,000 vehicles per day. So it's well within the practical capacity of the road.
Thank you,
Just
Director of
adding
Planning.
on to what you said about the
We'll stick to question 5.
Thank you. Do you think it's fair and equitable to ratepayers along Victoria Road and Bickley Road to add more commercial vehicles, considering the very poor state of the road? Because it's certainly not up to standard.
Director of Infrastructure. Do you mind
Mr.
answering that? Thank
Mr.
you.
Deputy Mayor, I can't really comment on fair or equitable, but in terms of Victoria Road, Kenwick, it is classified as a local access road. It has a maximum capacity of 3,000 vehicles per day. The road pavement currently meets the minimum required standard for the class of road. Where there are pavement failures, the city conducts repairs and/or improvements, as is the current scenario at the intersection of Victoria and Bickley.
Thank you, Director of Infrastructure, and thank you for your question, Sandy.
If you don't mind, can I just, Mr. Terrelink just made a comment about my question 4, and he mentioned about the car bays. Now, I'd like to point out that there's 260 car bays shortfall.
Sandy, the councillors are aware of what's in the report, so we'll leave it to that. Question time. That's the last of the questions. Public statements. There are none. We'll go into confirmation of the minutes. Councillors, can I please have a mover? Councillor Dewhurst, seconded by Councillor McDonald. We'll cast your votes, councillors. That's passed unanimously. 10. Receiving of petitions and presentations. Moving from you, Councillor Abetz, along the... Nope. No petitions and presentations. Applications for leave of absence. I have one here from Councillor David Good, seeking of leave of absence from the period the 13th of June to the 13th of June 2023, which includes the ordinary council meeting on it, you guessed it, 13th of June, for personal reasons. Can I get a mover? Thank you, Councillor Dewhurst, seconded by Councillor Zhang. And we'll vote on that, councillors. One more vote, councillors. Perfect, that's passed 10-0. Any other leaves of absence, councillors? No? Very good. Questions of which due notice has been given? There are none. Items brought forward for the convenience? There are none. Reports of committees? Straight on to item 13.2.1. Councillors, can I get a mover? Councillor Abetz, seconder. Councillor Baynes. Any comments, questions? Councillor Abetz, Councillor Baynes? Councillor Abetz.
Just in the context of the comments that a member of the public made about this particular thing, it's an interim land use, and I think it's a very appropriate interim land use. Doesn't prevent future development, so I think it ticks all the boxes for interim land use.
Councillors, anyone else? I must say, I think the 2 years is reasonable. Hopefully in that time we'll have a developer contribution plan in place, and so we can actually get some proper movement happening in that area. We always want top, as the Director of Planning had said, top tier industrial development in this area, and hopefully we'll see that soon. All right, councillors, please cast your votes. That's passed 10-0. On to item 13.4.1. Councillors, can I seek a mover? This is the Council Policy Review Community Funding Program Policy. Councillor Adams, seconded by Councillor Williamson. Councillor Adams, Councillor Williamson, any comments? No? We'll put it to vote then. Oh, Councillor Zhang.
First of all, would like to congratulate the Director Community Engagement for submitting this funding policy. I believe by increasing the maximum amount for Category 1, the community grants for both Level 1 and Level 2, the Category 2 competition sponsorship, and also adding the additional 2 new grants on the top of the existing 2 categories, it will reach out helping us to reach out to the wider communities. And also it will increasing the opportunity for the local community to receive the funding. So it will help them to develop their activities. So I'm looking forward to share this great news with the local community if the motion has been endorsed by Council tonight. Thank you.
Well said, Councillor Zhang. Thank you. And sorry, I didn't see your hand ferociously waving. My apologies. Well said, and thank you for your advocacy on that, Councillor Zhang. And I know Madam Mayor has been very interested in seeing that happen, particularly the $20,000 grant. So, councillors, that's been moved and seconded. Let's take it to a vote. That's passed 10-0. Next item is 13.5.1, the financial activity statement for April 2023. Can I please get a mover? Councillor Patterson, seconded by Councillor McDonald. Any questions or comments, councillors? No, let's put it to the vote. That's passed 10-0. Next item, 13.5.2, payment of accounts for April 2023. Can I see a mover? Councillors, Councillor Adams, seconded by Councillor Good. Any comments or questions? Let's vote, councillors. That's passed 10-0. Next item, 13.5.3, the 2023-24 differential rates and minimum rate. Can I get a mover, councillors? Councillor Patterson, seconded by Councillor Good. Any comments, Councillor Patterson? Councillor Good? Nothing? No? Councillor Good. And then Councillor Dewhurst.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor Hort. For the rate increase proposed of 3.5%, my initial thinking was, oh no, it's higher than 2. I don't like anything higher than 2. But the reality is this is actually a good move. It is well below the inflation rate, and we had to act, and we have to make sure that we don't lose pace with the costs. So I'm actually very supportive of the fact that 3.5%. I'm of the view that we are probably significantly lower than our comparable local governments, particularly in the metropolitan area. And whilst I'm mindful that rate pressures do put on people and ratepayers, whether it be state government charges, whether it be our charges, it all adds to cost. But I think as a council, we can be quite proud of the fact that when all the rates do come out amongst all our peers and larger councils, that we will find ourselves below their level. So very supportive, and it's not easy for the directors to be able to put together budgets that we can agree with, but you've got to think, always got to think well ahead, 1, 2 to 5 year ahead, and it's in line with our thinking, our plan. So well done in keeping it to the lowest possible figure that you could do. Very supportive. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Good. Councillor Dewhurst.
Yeah, thanks very much, Deputy Mayor. Yeah, look, I'd like to say a lot of good work has gone into this as well, and I'm quite impressed with the... I'm just pulling something off my phone. I'm not texting, guys, just to let you know.
Epic multitasking.
Though what is disappointing is that we've had to go to 3.5. I mean, we've had to recoup costs from government charges and hidden charges in there, like the 7.5% increase in our lighting bills for the street lights, and when considering we got, between 3 and 5% of the lights out at any one time. Though I do note a post here from Terry Healy that Terry Healy and Mark McGowan are delivering at least $400 of credit for the power, to the people around this great state. I thought it would be a government initiative, not a Terry Healy initiative. But if he's going to put his hand up for giving everyone the $400,000 in partnership with Mark McGowan, I think he needs to also cop the flack about the 7.5% increase and also and all the other hidden charges that the state government's going to hit councils over this next budget period. So it's nice. Would like to see it around 2%. But we can't do that. And thank you very much.
Thank you, Councillor Dewhurst. Councillors? Just briefly, I think we need to acknowledge also with inflation rises, so too come pressure on households, and it's not an easy decision to make to increase rates. Certainly the highest rate rise I've ever been a part of in our council, and certainly far back as I can remember as well, living in the city. So it's not a decision we want to make lightly, but we do want to pay our staff a reasonable wage as well, and there has been an increase in wages right across the sector, including many other sectors as well. So we have to acknowledge our biggest cost is always our staff. They're one of our best assets, and they do wonderful work for our city. So it's important to acknowledge that they are having a pay rise as well in this. Let's vote. Councillors, let's take it to a vote. That has passed unanimously 10-0. Item 13.5.4, the tender for lead design consultancy for Sutherland's Park Youth Plaza. Can I get a mover? Councillor Dewhurst and Councillor Bain, seconded. Councillor Dewhurst.
Thanks very much, Deputy Mayor, for that. Look, this is good. This is starting to all happen, and it's getting very exciting that all of Sutherland's Park is going to get redeveloped. However, I've had 3 comments to me, and again, they're only just comments to me. So, but coming from 3 different people, there's a rumour out there that that Sutherland Park, all we're going to do is do the playground, and which is not true. And this has come out of Terry Healy's office. Apparently, Terry Healy told these people what it is, but I wasn't a part of that conversation, so I don't really know. But if 3 people told me that, that's good enough for me. So I just want to make it very, very clear that what has been told is not true. Okay, so we're going ahead with the whole park, and I just want to go through the list of the things that we're doing. So the Sutherland's Park Master Plan projects, 2022, 2023, we've got the Capital Works program. We commenced the car park stage 1. We commenced all abilities play space, feasibility for the managed aquifer recharge, floodlight design for the whole of the reserve, Design with the entertainment space, yep, it's been done. Replace the playground on Reserve F. So this is what we're doing this year. So there's a lot happening. It's not just one thing, there's a lot happening. But 2023, 2024, we're doing the draft capital works program. We're going to complete the car park stage 1. We're going to complete all the ability play space, construct, and the pump track is going to be there. It's a great pump track. You might see me down there, might not either. The design of Sutherland's Park Centre, the pavilion will be done, the floodlighting reserves A, B, C and F with LED lights. We're going to complete the landscaping plan, complete the irrigation master plan, because as you know, the irrigation over the years it's morphed into this beast. So we're going to have a smart one up there. And I'm sure that Director Glover and his team are going to put one of the smartest eco-safe ones up there for the water. Also design relocation of the satellite depot, install the new cricket wickets on Reserve A, and concept design is going to be completed for March as well. So there's a lot of stuff going in there. So if people out there are hearing these rumours about it's only just a playground, that's not true. It's not true at all. And it's actually just very disappointing to hear that. But all up, the cost is that we're putting up is between $9.5 to $10 million for the whole space, and it was nice of the state to put the hand in the pocket and give us $2 million, which you'd expect them to do that anyway, because it's such a growing area up there, and they certainly will certainly need it. Anyway, thank you very much for listening to me.
Thank you, Councillor Dewhurst. It's nice to hear that list of things that will be in the budget for next year as well. Councillor Patterson.
Just a question for clarity on the $10 million figure. That's just for the youth plaza component, isn't it?
Let's get it straight from the horse's mouth. Let's go to the Director of Infrastructure. Not that you're a horse.
Thank you, Mr Deputy Mayor. Through you, the number that was quoted by Councillor Dewhurst is the money that's going to be expended. It's been expended this year and will expended next year, and probably a little bit into the year after, getting all of those projects completed at 9.5. That doesn't include the pavilion. So the pavilion is on top of that. We've only allowed for the design of that pavilion in the coming year, and the construction to commence possibly late next year, but that will be subject to council and budget variation.
So I'm clear as well then, so that's cumulatively for Sutherland's Park, because it's not just the youth entertainment space, we're talking about irrigation and things like that as well?
Most of the work, or not most, a substantial amount of that work was actually the planning, so that's money that's within our operational budgets. But in terms of the capital component, we're talking about 9.5 over this year and into next year.
Very significant investment.
And then obviously more beyond.
Thank you, Director of Infrastructure. Does that answer your question, Councillor Patterson? Any more statements or questions? Councillor Good.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor Hort. Yeah, look, I concur with Councillor Dewhurst and his comments about what's actually happening and what's going to be happening. But I also, it's just great to see the tender come before us tonight and sort of the start of this process with the Youth Plaza. But also in particular, it's worthwhile noting that for many, many years, this has been a massive project on board for the whole of Sutherland's. And I stand corrected if the Mr CEO or whatever wishes to overrule, but I think it's going to be probably in excess of $120 million overall for the whole park, and there's a lot of money to go in. So please feel free to correct that figure, but it'll sure be another figures from years ago too. But it's just nice to see this coming before us now, and over a period of time, as Councillor Dewhurst has said, there's a lot of parts that come together. And to think, I was only on council a short period of time when a lot of my predecessors had decided to approve Mills Park, and that I think was 47 million apparently, I think roughly at the end. I think that was roughly 2015, so it'd be good if 5 or 10 years from now, Sutherland's could be done, the splash facility and all the other facilities, the football, the cricket, the hockey, and what we've seen done, it's been great. So congratulations to the directors, your foresight, Director Glover, a lot of excellent work, and your team out there. So I just think it's great, and great to see it coming before council. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Councillor Good. Councillor Patterson.
Sorry, thank you so much. I'm glad you mentioned that. That teed into my question before. So the total build cost around 120 million. Just for confirmation, how much is the state government, Terry Healy, giving us?
Let's go to the Director of Infrastructure.
Through you, Mr Deputy Mayor, the grant is 2 million.
2 million for the 120 million?
2 million for the youth plaza, which will be around 6.5 million completed.
Beautiful. But the whole park in its entirety, that beautiful facility, the other 118 million does.
Correct.
Thank you very much.
Well, there will be grants, one assumes.
Let's hear from the CEO on that.
Yes, we will be looking for other contributors.
Thank you, Mr. CEO. Any other questions or statements? I think it's really exciting to see the youth entertainment space come together. It's going to be great for the city and the broader area as well. So very excited about these next steps. And I don't think we've ever had a tender item discussed so much. So councillors, let's take it to a vote. That's 10-0, so that's passed. Let's move on to item 13.5.5, making of the City of Gosnells Bush Fire Brigade Local Law 2023, passed for Councillor McDonald as moving and Councillor Adams as seconding. Any comments or statements, councillors? Let's put it to the vote. That has passed 10-0. On to the... That's it. Well, there you go. Thank you, councillors. A wonderful meeting. I declare the meeting closed at 7:31. Thank you, members of the gallery.